And the film took place in
Hey,
Wisconsin, yeah.
we're here. We're live. Welcome, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 edition of the Women's International Film Festival. We're so excited to be able to come back, and it's a different kind of way. I think that over the past few years, with what's happened around the world, we are doing things a little bit differently. We're all pivoting a little bit to try to still bring programs to the world. But I can say that what is great about doing our film festival this year, both online and in person, is that we're able now to have people like Maria and Meredith, who may not have been under normal circumstances, been able to participate. So I think that for me, it's always about where's the silver lining, where's the lemon out of the lemon. You know what I mean? I want to just say that this is, in many ways, it's even better to a certain extent, right? So we're going to go back to individual screenings, and Meredith, maybe we can talk about later, maybe doing a screening in Miami if you haven't done one there yet, or even if you have. I think this would be a great film for that location. So basically, I wanted to welcome both Maria and Meredith here. That is part of this film called Promotores. It's an amazing film we really loved, particularly with what's going on in the world with women and women's rights and all that's going on. So first, I wanted to say welcome and congratulations on a great film. And welcome, you're now part of the Wiff family. Well, Meredith, you're a two-time member because you've been part of the festival before. Tell me how this all came about, Meredith.
Well, also, I'd love Maria to join in too. So our production team, our producers team, is in New York, and they had a connection to Planned Parenthood Wisconsin originally, and so they started developing this project with Planned Parenthood Wisconsin to talk about reproductive justice and conversations around reproductive health, especially in and around and before the ban on abortion in Wisconsin. So after that conversation got going, I joined the team. I was asked to join the team, and then we formed a larger team. But our producers, Monique and Kareem and Josh and Benny, they were all kind of in on the project before me and asked me. And then we got to talking, being in conversation with Planned Parenthood Wisconsin, and Maria was one of the grand forces that brought this all together, because she just does so much with not only Planned Parenthood, but obviously Promotores, which she can explain her work. And then right in the middle of pre-production is when the ban on abortion happened in Wisconsin, and everything, including the creative and the script and the storytelling, had to shift dramatically to support the issue. And so that's how it happened. It kind of the connections came first, and then the politics came next, and then we really rolled with it. The Promotores film is actually it's part 2 of a 3-part film, one on policy, one on Promotores, which is on sexual reproductive education and culture and language, and then the third piece is about how we navigate from here in Wisconsin with the on the topic of reproductive health and rights and abortion, but with these new policies and this new language, and so, but this film is sort of like the pivotal point of all 3 films. It speaks to a language that we need to talk in our communities in order to fight. So Maria, what would you say about how can you speak to this question?
So again, Planned Parenthood involves me in a lot of very interesting things. What I do and the promotores do, we are always ensuring that we are taking care of the communities we live in, right? Because that is what we do. Even the people working with us as promotores, they were leaders in their community prior to becoming promotores de salud. So they are already connected. It's just that Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin has supported us in giving us financial support so that we can pay community members to be the leaders in their communities and help each other out. A lot of the times, many people come into communities and want to say that they will help, that they will support, but really the solutions are within the community. They just need the help. So when Planned Parenthood said we are doing a film about, advocacy, about education, about what happens in the clinics, I was very excited to showcase the promotores because they deserve that. They deserve that limelight because of all of the great work they are doing in the community. I'm, again, someone who supports them. And being Mexican myself, having lived all of the challenges that many of our communities of colors face, all of the challenges, I also come from that community, and a lot of people supported me. So to me, it's just natural that we help support the leaders in the community so they can then in turn help their community members.
Meredith, and for people who may not have watched the film yet, what is a promotores? And you really very clearly and wonderfully explained why they were important. But if somebody hasn't seen the film yet, because we're trying to encourage people to continue through the film festival, it doesn't end until, Friday, right? So you've got the whole week. So if there's some films that you have to select, we want to make sure that this is one of them. But I want people to understand, because I think it's just a great program and probably could be duplicated in other cities across, if it's not other cities, but I love what you're doing. Maybe you could explain a little bit more for the people who haven't seen the movie yet.
For sure. And Maria, maybe I can start to explain and you can finish, because this is exactly what you do. I will say, for the purposes of the film, that we wanted to highlight the Promotores de Salud because like Maria said, the Promotores existed before Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin started doing this work. And so it was a natural combination and mutual support system that occurred between the Promotores and Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin. So the Promotores go out into the community, Spanish-speaking communities in Wisconsin, and connect connect through conversations about reproductive health and justice, and meet through kind of community parties. And so they gather at personal homes and have conversations. Some of it is in the context of kind of like a backyard barbecue where everyone brings a potluck item and shares conversation. And then there's also a booklet that that's gone through, that sort of structures conversations around health. And all the conversations are filtered through culture and Spanish-speaking cultures, and also language. Everything is communicated in Spanish. And so unless someone comes to the party, the health party, the home health party, and only speaks English, and then things shift. But the importance around that is that not only are conversations happening around reproductive health that are necessary, but it's happening in Spanish so that things aren't lost or amiss, and things are infused and enriched with realness. And also that mutual support between the Promotores and Planned Parenthood, that information is mutually exchanged and used for support in the way that it's brought back to Planned Parenthood, and then Planned Parenthood can then in turn serve its communities better, right? And then, Maria, how would you describe what you do as a leader and also as a promotora?
So for me, again, if I'm speaking to the audience and we have people who are community advocates, and what I would say, you should watch the film, because it will show community advocates a way that you can support communities and center it around community members. I just in Puerto Rico, we went to look at the place we will be using to do the training for promotores here in Puerto Rico. And the lady she's a beautiful woman. And she talked about it. We're using a place where they're having a kitchen. They serve food for people who need that service. And she started out because a lot of the people were out at the park. And so she opened up a community kitchen. And now some of the people who were in line to get food are now employed by her and, doing other things in the community. So again, people who want to advocate for their communities, this film showcases how wonderful it is to support and professionally develop the people within the community so that they can help themselves and the community. For community members, I would say I would like you to watch this film because it will show you that everything is possible. Many times we just only see this little circle where we are at and can't imagine things to dream how things can be better. And promotores make the community better. Many of our promotores thought, when I first talked to them about becoming promotores, they're like, Maria, I can't possibly do all the work you do. I said, yes, you can. I've been doing this for 40 years. And that's why, it appears that I know everything off the top of my head, but someone showed it to me and someone supported me. And that's what the Planned Parenthood team is here for, to support you in your professional development. And then they are passing that knowledge to their community members. So that's why I would say watching the film is important, both for people who are supporting communities in the advocacy realm and for community members to know that it is possible. You too can do it.
As I was watching it, I was kind of remembering a little bit years back when I was working for the state, another lifetime. I do remember that I was in charge of, making sure that the community was involved in some of the programs that we were doing. And I remember that they kind of very strict way of trying to reach the community. It's like, oh, we'll call a meeting at this place and we'll expect everybody to show up. And I remember thinking, no, let's work with the people who are already there and the people the community already supports and are familiar with and trust. And instead of us saying we're going to hold a meeting at this time in this place, let's get the feedback from the community. Do we know, like, where are they? Let's meet them where they are, as opposed to expecting them to accommodate us, and that was kind of what I thought about when I saw the Promotores. I thought, oh, you guys are doing such amazing work.
And really, I just wanted to add to that. What Maria said was exact. We follow in the film. So if you haven't seen the film, for everyone who hasn't seen the film, who we're not mentioning right now is Rocio, who is so centered in the film as doing her work as a promotora. And we follow in the film what she does starting in the morning and throughout the day. And it kind of pans out as morning, afternoon, evening, daily position. And so we follow Rocio, and she meets with 3 individuals at their homes and helps them with individual issues that they're experiencing in their life, in their health insurance, in their own health. And then she ends with a home health party, which Maria was explaining too, getting together in a backyard and leading these discussions that are as equally serious and fun, and so we follow Rocio, so who we're not mentioning is kind of the star of the film. And then we get all of these really contextual information by speaking to Maria, by speaking to Allison Barker, who also works at Planned Parenthood, contextualizing everything in this mode of popular education. Speaking about popular education by going out into communities and finding out what people need, what people want. And then bringing it back to Planned Parenthood and saying, let's support this. It's not the other way around where you define an issue or you define a need from the larger organization down. That doesn't make sense. So the whole film is about the promotores, and it's about popular education and how to support that better.
Yeah, it's amazing. These women are amazing. They're, you know, the woman that we saw, how you could see that she really cared about not, you know, about the individuals, right? About what, as you mentioned earlier, all of the things that they're going through, not just, you know, one particular area, but how she support them with other things that are happening in their lives. And I think it really showed the possibilities that you mentioned, Maria, of how you can, something like as Planned Parenthood and you know, can really support the community in better and more direct ways. And sometimes you know, a conversation and a little bit of information, you know, can just make a big difference in terms of what you're going through emotionally or what you're thinking is going on. But just to have somebody with a little bit of knowledge and information about some services that might be available, and just to help there be another perspective in your daily, you know, whatever it is that's happening to you.
Yeah, you're spot on, and Meredith is absolutely correct. The star of this film is absolutely Rocio, and as you can see, as she travels throughout the day helping people, one of the things I always tell the promotores, we start out holding people by the hand, but remember that our end goal is to let them be able to fly by themselves. So we will help and we will hold your hand, but our ultimate goal is that you are able to function and advocate and seek out your own resources, because we might not always be there. And for us to pass on the knowledge to the community, the people in the community, then they will then pass the knowledge on to their own families, to their own, you know, network of people. So that is very, very important, that we teach people to fish, and we start out, you know, holding hands, but that's ultimately what it is, what we want.
Excellent. That's so excellent. And so, Meredith, tell me what's happening next. What is happening next for you? And Maria, you can tell me as well. But as far as let's start with Maria. What's happening next in your community and what you're doing with all of what you're doing?
So I'm sorry. I thought you said Meredith. Was that
I
question?
did, and then I thought, let me touch bases with you first, and then I'll talk to Meredith about the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we are doing, I mean, we're actively recruiting promotores. So the goal for Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is that we have 3 to 4 promotores around every clinic that we have. We currently have 22 health centers throughout Wisconsin. So the role of the promotores is to create trust in their community and then connect people to reputable community resources. So we want to be community centric. That means that we want people to think, this is my Planned Parenthood clinic, and these are the Planned Parenthood promotores who work 24 hours if need be, 7 days a week. I can connect with them at the grocery store, at church, at the laundromat. You know, I don't need office hours or anything like that. So our goal is to continue to expand programming in that way. And as I mentioned before, I have the pleasure of being in Puerto Rico right now. So we are expanding our work, and now we are, you know, training some promotores here in Puerto Rico. The training will start next week. And, you know, we count on a team of about 20 active promotores. Active means that they're out in the community facilitating our Seis Más curriculum. But we also count on about 20, 25 additional promotores who are no longer active facilitating the curriculum, but they're still on Facebook and promoting the promotores and hosting home health parties and all of that. So they're out there working in that area, and then we'll recruit the people from here in Puerto Rico. And we have Rocio, who's from Peru, and she already has an organization who wants to work with us because they want the Promotores de Salud program in Peru. So I hope that we will soon say we continue to grow and expand into different countries. Because, right, immigrant families who live in the United States, their roots, their culture, their knowledge comes from their country of origin. And we work with a lot of first generation Latinos. So, working in other countries will also help us serve the communities in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was what my thought was. The program seemed so great. I said to myself, I hope that other cities are, doing this as well. And then now you're talking about other countries as well. So that's really, really amazing. Monique just sent a heart. And Monique, you're a superhero, Maria. That's so true. That's so true. And I think that being able to expand it, I mean, amazing that you can, this internationally. That just talks about, Maria, the quality of what you're doing and how it's impacting there's the thoughts of even taking it to other states and other places, around the country. And now we're looking at, internationally. And so Meredith, tell me about what the plans are for the film.
Yeah. I just wanted to add, just for a moment, this idea of community centric. It's popular education and community centric it's not new, but sadly, it's not practiced as a model in the center of major organizations and health organizations. So what Maria and the team of Promotores do in conjunction with Planned Parenthood, it's just incredible, because you, Maria, and all the Promotores live and work the same politics. And it's just incredible. And I've learned a lot from speaking to you, and being with Rocio in the field every day. It's really, like you said, Yvonne, it's talking to people. You start with a topic. What Maria said is you start hand-holding, and then you hope that through the process of those relationships, those personal and direct relationships, that people will fly on their own, and the individual development of each individual promotora through the process of possibly coming from a different country with a different career, building a new career as a promotora. And, it's not only this community outreach that we're talking about, it's like personal development. It's really a beautiful process. And the only thing that works, frankly, and it has to be in someone's native language, or else there's no trust built. And in Spanish, what Maria told me, you say trust as confianza. If there's no confianza built in community, then there's no successful work. But for the film, this is the beginning of our distribution. This is the beginning of our festival process. So we're hoping to reach many communities with this film and bring on Maria and Rocio and the producing team, and also the Planned Parenthood team, which is behind it, Linda and Jen, and just keep on going, because I think that what we said, the most useful conversation here is, how can community-centric organizing and education be used in organizations?
Absolutely. And I wanted to just say hello to Monique. I know she made a comment, but she's actually the producer of the film, right? One of the producers.
Yes, Monique and Josh are here. Kareem is not here. I don't think. Linda's here from Planned Parenthood. Linda and represent Planned Parenthood here. They're all here.
Well, absolutely wonderful, Linda. Thank you for your comments, and Joshua and Monique. This is such an important program that you guys are doing. And, we're here to support you as a festival that really is focused on, supporting women, right? One of the things that we've said is that as a film festival, we're not just about showing great work like this, throughout, for the festival, but we want to continue to get the word out throughout the year, and that we are a program that really believes in addressing issues that impact women on a global basis, right? So this film, I think, is one of those films. Josh says hi. I think, one of those films that I believe really is true to our cause, right? So some of our films are, dramatic films, some are horror films, and all that is great because we're showing women's visions and women's women's artwork, right? And some of them are very issue related, which is part of our mission. One of the missions is to showcase work made by women, and the other part of the mission is to address issues that impact us. And this definitely does, is particularly at this time, right? Particularly at this time in history when we think that we have made progress, and at the same time, it just feels like we're also taking steps back, right? So, it's important to get this work is so timely, Meredith and Maria, right? This work is so timely. And I just want to, thank you for taking the time for putting the festival together and the film together.
You did that.
All of the great work that you're doing across the country, not only in Wisconsin, but now you're going to, and that is absolutely fabulous. And Linda Neff from Planned Parenthood, and Joshua and, Monique, thank you for all that you've done as part of this film and part of being part of the festival. And as I mentioned, when the festival's over, Meredith, we should have a conversation about, doing some other screenings throughout the rest of the year. We are planning on doing one in New York. I believe scheduled for this Thursday as well. So for the people who are in the New York City area, come on out and see it live. And I believe is it Monique that will be there? Monique, awesome to actually support the film, what the technical aspect doing a Q&A. So if you're in New York City area, come on out Thursday at the Stewart Cinema Cafe. And it's a beautiful woman-owned theater in Brooklyn. We're just trying to keep supporting ourselves as women. And it's a small theater. It's just intimate. It'll be a beautiful opportunity to talk about the issues of Promotores and Planned Parenthood and all of that. So we invite everybody to come out. Is it 3:00 on Thursday? I think it is. Yeah. So just go to wifftv.com to actually get your pass. Actually come on out to get your pass to either just this film or to watch all of the movies, or even just to get a ticket to come out on Thursday. Actually, not just, because it's a great opportunity to see it live in the theater on the big screen and to actually connect with Monique. So we're excited. We're excited for the screening, and we want to thank you once again for being part of the Women's Film Festival. You guys are all part of the greater Wiff family now. And so once we got you, we don't let you go.
Thank God. Also,
thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah, thank you.
And Linda just mentioned in the sidebar that she wanted to lift that Maria had this vision for this program more than 20 years ago.
Wow, Maria. How does that feel?
Planned Parenthood Wisconsin will be celebrating 20 years of working with Promotores de Salud this September. So we have identified, I think, September 30th, I believe, as a big celebration so that we can lift up the work of the promotores and we can celebrate amongst community. So yes, 20 years we have been working.
Nice. Congratulations. That's amazing. Congratulations,
Thank
Maria.
you.
To see something that's a concept and see it come to life, and you've got like 20 years. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do and supporting women and supporting your communities across, and now how you're extending it across. It's just absolutely beautiful. And Joshua, thank you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys,
Josh and Lisa, who are here. It's so exciting. I wish they could be here in the visuals. But Yvonne, thank you so much for everything that you do with the festival and lifting up this film, and also doing your work at the state before this. I mean, that's you're here for it.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. And once again, I'll just like to encourage everybody to go to wifftv.com to come and watch the film, or to sign up to come to the film on Thursday, or to see it online. And that's what's great about having it online, is for the people who cannot be in New York City, that it's available until Friday. And this is one of those films that you definitely need to see. So again, thank you for your great work, Maria. Thank you. All the best to you. I hope you're beautiful and warm there in Puerto Rico. And
Yes.
and when you get back, a big difference from Wisconsin, right?
Big difference, I hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye, Joshua
Take care.
and
Thank
Linda
you.
and Monique. Monique,
Thank
we'll
you.
see you Thursday. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye-bye.